Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bellefonte Borough Council business meeting. Would you join me, please, with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Clayton, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier.
Here.
Mr. Brackville.
Here.
Okay.
Ms. Clayton, here. Ms. Dan.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Present.
Ms. McKean.
Here.
Okay.
Ms. Purnell.
Here.
Ms. Sedgwick.
Here.
Ms. Tosti-Vasey. Ms. Meckley.
Here.
And Mayor Johnson.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Additions to the council meeting agenda. Under Act 65 of 2021, if a matter is not on the agenda, council may not take official action on it with the following exceptions. Council can act on matters relating to potential or real emergencies. Council may add a matter of agency business to its agenda through a majority vote. The council must state why the action item is being added to the agenda. Council may vote to add an action item to the agenda. Are there any additions? Public comment. Borough Council intends to take public comment related to the motion that is on the floor after it has been duly made and seconded. The order of comments will be public comment and then council comment, including proposed amendments by council members. If amendments are proposed to the original motion, the public will then only comment on the amendments before the final votes are taken. You must be a Bellefonte resident, a nonprofit representative, a business owner, or an official representative of another governmental agency. Speakers shall identify themselves by name and street, municipality, if outside the borough of Bellefonte. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Council was in executive session tonight from 6:30 to 7:30, and we were discussing personnel issues. Under communications, Bellefonte EMS is holding their 7th annual joint meeting invitation at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. The meeting will be held at Bellefonte EMS, 369 Phoenix Avenue in Bellefonte. Please RSVP to Scott Rote by Monday, July 28th. No council action is needed. The legal description of the lot addition, portions of Dunlap Street owned by the Borough of Bellefonte to be transferred to Bellefonte Waterfront Associates, number 1 and number 2, LLC, Bellefonte Waterfront. Could I have a motion and a second to approve the legal description as stated?
So moved.
Second, Brackville.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier.
Yes.
Mr. Brackville.
Yes.
Ms. Clayton. Yes. Ms. Dan.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. McKean.
Yes.
Ms. Purnell.
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick.
Yes.
Ms. Tosti-Vasey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and will be acted upon by a single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless members of the council request specific items to be removed for separate action. Could I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda, please?
I'll make the motion, Brackville.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Shauna. Under reports, Mr. Mayor. Oh, yes, we do want to vote on that. I'm sorry. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier.
Yes.
Mr. Brackville.
Yes.
Ms. Clayton. Yes. Ms. Dan.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. McKean.
Yes.
Ms. Purnell.
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick.
Yes.
Ms. Tosti-Vasey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, would you like to have your report now?
Yeah, I just simply want to thank Pat McCool and everybody who had a hand in the Bellefonte cruise. I know the weather did not cooperate this year as they would have liked, but despite of the weather, it was still a first-class event, and we are all very thankful for all the time and effort that they put in to make it such a great event. So thank you to anybody who had a hand in making the cruise successful.
Thank you. The police report is in your packet. Chief Whitmer, did you have anything to add to that tonight?
No, I didn't have anything new to add. As you can see, hopefully everyone had a chance to review it. Again, we're quite busy. We had a lot of special events that went on as well we attended, so does anyone have any questions for me? Thank you.
I have one quick
Sure.
question. I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay.
If there's a non-emergency call that needs to be directed to the police, do you know what that number is?
Yes. 1-800-479-0050.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. The parking report was in your packet, the Office of Community Affairs with Gina. Can we have a motion and a second to conditionally approve the preliminary final Bellefonte waterfront land development plans that are contingent on the list of 4 things below that? Thank you. Can we have a second, please?
I'll second Brackbill.
Discussion. Dina, do you want to add anything to that, please?
I don't really have anything to add to the motion itself, but just wanted to let Borough Council know that Mr. Sepp and Mr. Song are here if you have any questions about the plans themselves, or myself, of course. And I also wanted to say thank you to John Sepp and Tom Songer for their hard work, and also to the Planning Commission for their hard work, and the Historic Architectural Review Board for their hard work on reviewing these plans, modifying them, discussing, going back and forth. It's been a long process, as you know. It is a conditional approval. There are a couple of things that are still outstanding, but those are pretty straightforward for land development plans. So there's no overarching issues there. And I don't know if Mr. Songer or Mr. Sepp want to speak or have anything to add, so. I did share the vision statement with them in the packet, so they have that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you had an opportunity. My name's Tom Songer. Mark Morath and I have been working on this project, as you know, for many years, and we think we're very close to getting this thing launched this year. It's been a challenging project in many ways, but we think that the project we have before you tonight is really a very good project for Bellefonte Borough, and we've done a lot of improvements to the project through the COVID period and subsequent to COVID to improve the project. So the vision statement that hope you've had a chance to read, we haven't changed the real vision of the project in that we're going to build a 93-room boutique hotel, be national brand. It'll have a farm-to-table restaurant in the hotel, and also have a rooftop experience, which that is something major that we've added since you last saw the land development plan. And that rooftop experience will seat approximately 75 people indoors, 75 people outdoors. And we think that's going to be the real wow factor for the project. When you're sitting up on the 6th floor of the hotel, you'll be able to have a panoramic view of all of Bellefonte. You might recall initially we had 3 buildings on the site: the hotel, a parking garage with commercial on the 1st floor, and we also had a 3rd building that was going to be commercial on the 1st floor and then condominiums. We value engineered the project because parking garages are so expensive to build that we decided to combine the two buildings into one building. So we're going to have, I don't know if, Gina, can you bring up the illustration of the whole site? So we're going to have the hotel, really, the footprint of the hotel hasn't changed. We're still going to have a promenade between Spring Creek and the hotel and the parking garage. It's going to be a brick paved gathering space for citizens, people just to walk, or there'll be outdoor seating on the first floor too for the hotel. It's not planned at this time to have any large meeting rooms on the second level, which we had planned before, because there's many places in and around Bellefonte, there we go, that can provide and are providing space for meetings and so forth. So we took the second level and we converted that all to hotel rooms because, there we go. So the building on the right there, that's the hotel. You'll see the promenade, the brick promenade I just spoke about, next to Spring Creek. We also have a brick sidewalk in front of the parking garage and hotel going down towards the Gamble Mill. This plan also shows about 90 surface parking spaces, 260 parking spaces in the parking garage, 265. And that'll be on really 3 levels of parking, but mostly on levels 2 and 3. There'll be parking on the ramp going up into the parking garage. We're going to have the latest technology in terms of paying for parking that will include scanning your license plate. So you scan your license plate going in, scan it going out, computer computes what you owe, and you can pay it, via credit card. We'll probably still have a ticket opportunity also if you want to take a ticket and pay at a kiosk. But back to the hotel, as I said, we'll have a farm-to-table restaurant on the first floor. That will seat about 100 people. There will also be outdoor seating on the promenade right outside the hotel with a roof over that area. Then continuing on to the parking garage, the parking garage will be built at the same time as the hotel. We've got to build the two together. They'll open at the same time. And once we start the project and start building the project, we will be marketing the condominium units. We're already sort of marketing that, and I have a lot of interest in the condominium units, but we won't be selling any condo units until we actually start the project. But once we start the project, we'll be meeting with prospects who are interested in buying a condominium unit. There'll be 48 condominium units, 2 and 3 bedrooms, and 16 on each floor, floors 4, 5, and 6. And there'll be common open space on floor 6 of the condominiums. The
30 more seconds.
The unique thing
Tom.
about this project is,
30 seconds.
what's that?
30 more seconds to wrap it up.
Oh, okay, sorry. So the unique thing about this is anyone's interested in building a condominium, it'll be a custom design for your interior finishes. You get to pick your cabinetry, your flooring, your lighting, and so forth. So anyway, we're very excited about the project, and we're looking forward, as I said, to getting it started this fall. All right? Anybody have any questions for me?
Thank you, sir, very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have questions or discussion before we vote? Can we have a roll call vote, please? Deb?
Mr. Bernier.
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill.
Yes.
Ms. Clayton, yes. Ms. Dan.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. McKean.
Yes.
Ms. Purnell.
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick.
Yes.
Ms. Tosti-Vasey.
Yes.
Thank you.
We also have a report from our interim borough manager, Don Holderman. Do you have anything you want to add?
Not add, but just for the public, Madam President, I just wanted to mention that we did sign the documents today for the bid documents for the traffic light that will go up at Zion Road and Parkview Boulevard. It will be advertised for 4 weeks in the next week or so, and then bid opening will be August 4th.
Thank you. Committee reports, Environmental and Parks Committee. Ms. Tosti Vasey.
We met with the Talleyrand Park Committee on Wednesday, May 28th, to do a walkthrough of Talleyrand Park. That walkthrough, we made a list of issues that need to be addressed over the summer, that our public works will be doing most of the work. This includes some tree trimming and clearing of brush under some trees. In addition, we noticed issues with the deterioration of the bottoms of the columns at the pergola, and we all agreed that fencing behind the pergola needs to be repaired. Both committees thought the idea of a wrought iron replacement for the wooden fence behind the pergola would be nicer in terms of durability and looks. And in addition, we discussed the possibility of adding an ADA lookout over Spring Creek from that viewpoint. That might be very nice, but that's somewhere down the road. Then on Thursday, June 12th, the Parks Committee met at Governor's Park to do a similar walkthrough. We found over 7 to 8 dead trees that are over 70 to 80 feet tall that need to be removed, along with their stumps. Our Public Works crew, thank you, has already done a lot of cleanup within the park from that large storm we had in May. They're still working on this, and Julie said that when they get some time, they will also be removing many of the stumps that were left behind when they took care of the trees that had fallen down during the storm. In addition, we looked at the revised batting cage proposal that is on our agenda this evening under old business. The design we approved at the last meeting was completely surrounded the batting cage with a fence that stood about 5 feet outside of the cage area. The baseball group afterwards came back to us and decided they thought it would look better and be more protected if instead they placed hardy board on the outside of the batting cage, leaving the netting open at the top. We did ask if this would work in the evenings when the sun goes down, and we were told that the cage has plenty of interior lighting that will work with this new design. The committee is recommending approval of this change when we get to old business. And that what you see on the screen is the new design that on the bottom left was sort of like a barn door crossing. That's where the lock gate will be to get into the batting cage.
Thank you. We'll look at all those in detail when we come up to vote on that, too. Finance and Administration Committees. Ms. Cleaton.
Yes, we met earlier this evening to begin preliminary discussions about the search that we're doing for a new borough manager. The committee will meet again tomorrow evening, the 17th at 5:30 in the Oak Room.
Thank you. Mr. Brackbill, Infrastructure and Public Works Committee.
Okay, I've revised this 6/7/2025 for meetings held in March, April, May, and June. Myself as chairperson, Doug Johnson, Diana Sedgwick, and Sean Keene are on the committee. For the Bellefonte Borough Buildings ADA improvements needed, 301 North Spring Street and East Lamb Street, the committee made a request to Matt Almond in March 2025 to have brighter lighting over the front steps of the North Spring Street and over the entry door of East Lamb Street. Additionally, in April, the committee requested 2 additional handicap parking stalls back to back on the East Lamb Street location. Due to this issue, at the time in April, the committee will remove the additional request for a crosswalk from the police department parking area to street parking along sidewalks, East Land and North Spring Street. Additional improvements needed, the fire doors in the council chambers on the left and right sides need for egress and ingress will require additional improvements to the door operations. The performance, thought was only maybe one building, so we both stick.
Hit your mic, Randy, would you? I'm not going to start over. Doors also will require exit signs on both doors for the entry and from the hallway to enter the council chambers. Meeting signage is required daily to provide directions to the meeting rooms. Additional signage for wheelchair and accessibility, and follow up on getting a fire plan, exit plan. Emergency exits need to be examined monthly. Reconfigured the council, reconfiguration of the council's meeting table set up with power to all computers and improvements with new sound system and acoustics will hopefully improve what we have tonight. Wheelchair accessibility entrances and follow up on getting fire exit signs posted in each room. Check status on replacing police department signage and move municipal building to the old armory, which is this building. My summaries are discussed assessment and transition plan, the need for an assessment and transition plan for ADA under the public entity guidelines, the need to discuss whether the assessment should be handled by one person or a group, inventory of assets and maintenance schedules, improving accessibilities in buildings, assess the transition plans for ADA in the building, prioritize certain areas for improvements such as parking spaces and public access points. That's going to be a difficult one. And committee's role in ADA compliance, managing accessibility issues and compliances with ADA. Committees should focus on specific problems, recommendations from residents before they become complaints. Review sections of the plan as they are completed and feedback will be provided. Accessibility and safety on building exits. Committee to discuss accessibility and safety on the building exits signage. Committee agreement on the need for clear plastic signage and operational doors to ensure safe access and egress. And review current signage to be placed on the meeting room doors. Possibilities of installing on the Oak Room signage on the door, including blocking certain areas from staff for staff protection. That's my report. The other thing I'm going to do is cancel the meeting for this month, and we'll pick it up in July. Still be the last Thursday of July. We'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Ms. Tosti-Vasey, Ordinance Ad Hoc Committee.
The Ordinance Ad Hoc Committee also met on Thursday, June 12th, after we finished the Parks meeting out at Governor's Park. We revised the loading and unloading zone issue for all of the areas in town. Before bringing it to council, we need to have a map added to the ordinance so people can see where these loading and unloading zones are located. In addition to actually adding the loading and unloading zone in front of the Dollar General store. We found out there wasn't one there in the ordinance. We are also recommending a change to the delivery times from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. to change that to 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I believe that this revised ordinance will be at the next meeting's agenda for approval.
Great, thank you. Streets Committee, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. You all have a copy of my report in the packet. The only change I see is item 3, Dollar General unloading parking. I recall us saying 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Or do we agree on 6? Rita, do you remember?
I actually don't, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Deb, did we change that to 6? Or we'll just keep it at 5 a.m. for the unloading? And I thought we changed it to 6.
I thought we changed it to 6.
Yes.
I think we
6?
did
Okay,
change it to
great.
6.
Doug?
So my report is inaccurate. It should be 6 a.m. instead of the 5 a.m. Yes, Joanne?
I was just going to say that that was the consensus in the
Okay.
ordinance committee as
Okay.
well.
Thank you. So I'll run through it real quick. McAllister Street, we've done a lot of mitigation there for speeding. Matt has either purchased or ordered some pedestrian signs that we're not going to put in place until school starts, and during the school year, keep those in place as long as somebody doesn't run them over. The chief and the staff have agreed to monitor McAllister frequently, and it seems to be working so far so good. So, and we've added signage. North Allegheny Street storm drain issue, Matt has received bids for that repair, but because of the weather, it's put it behind several weeks. Dollar General unloading, we've already talked about. The paving on South Spring Street is complete. Stamped crosswalks are to be added to High Street, South Spring and Bishop, Cherry Lane, and South Spring. It was brought up about the hand railing on the east side of what I would call Allegheny Hill or South Allegheny Street. I think our staff is going to take a look at that for needed repairs. There was a question from EMS regarding loading and unloading on Phoenix Avenue. Mr. Almond and Ms. Brooks will be taking a close look at that, and it's been recommended we put some signage based on the assessment from Matt Almond and Julie Brooks sometime soon. We're going to add a no parking sign on East High Street at the intersection of, close to the intersection of East High and School Street. And as Dawn pointed out, the bid documents for the traffic light at Bishop and Parkview, we're expecting those not for approval, but for the bid opening on August 4th. Our next meeting is Tuesday, July 8th at 4 p.m. in the Oak Room. And I will ask our committee members who were there if I've missed something and you would like to add something to that report. Any questions from council? That's it.
Thank you. Public Transport Task Force Committee. We have a June 2025 report and a PSAB Conference and Transit report. Ms. Clayton and Ms. Tosti-Vasey.
After we passed our decision to go with Center County Transportation for our transit system, we've been working with Dave Lomison and his staff at the Center County Transportation Office. We met with them last week and came up with the plans that you see later on in the agenda for passage this evening. Basically, everybody who is 60 and over will ride for free. Those who have a disability or are on Medicaid for medical, anyone who has a disability rides at a discounted rate. People who have Medicaid can get the same rides to medical appointments for $4.25 one way. Everybody else will be under the borough's service, where they will pay $5 one way, and the borough will subsidize the rest of the travel is based on mileage. And we met once, and then we brought Dave and his staff in, and we asked several questions, and I think we've come up with a very good plan to move forward. It will start on July 1st. Once we pass this evening, then we will start advertising this to the public, and so give them a chance to register with Center County Transportation. We have asked, and Dave Lomason has requested that when questions come into the borough, to make sure we're giving this correct information, we're going to direct the people to go directly to Center County Transportation to have their questions answered. That way we're not going confusing people. Since it's not our system, we wanted to make sure that everybody knows what's going on from their end. Secondly, at the PSAB conference, the secretary for Department of Transportation spoke during the executive session and basically said that his initial statement was that transportation was needed in Pittsburgh and the Philadelphia area. I got up during the question and answer period and said, well, there are 65 counties other than Philadelphia and Allegheny County, and every single one of us has some form of public transit. Sometimes that's paratransit, sometimes it's regular public transit. He pulled back and he said I was correct, and that he would go back and try to see what we could do about all of the different transit programs for funding from the state. Then on Wednesday, after PSAB ended, Deb and I went to the Capitol in Harrisburg, and we had a meeting with the staff for Senator Dush and Carrie Benninghoff. In your packet is a summary of what happened and a response 3 days later from Senator Dush. I understand that he will be sending us another letter that's more directed towards transit here in Center County, but we haven't received it yet. That's the report. Do you have anything to add?
I just wanted to mention about the rally in Harrisburg on June 4th. There were about 300 people there from across the state, not just the major metropolitan areas, but from a lot of the rural, small municipalities throughout the state that don't have any transportation whatsoever, or very limited transportation. And as Joanne mentioned, we were able to meet directly with the staff of Senator Dush and Mr. Benninghoff to discuss what the needs are for our municipalities. And during the course of this whole gathering, we broke up in small groups of 3 and 4, and every single legislator's office in the Capitol building was visited and given information about the needs for transportation in rural Pennsylvania, because all of the focus is on the 2 large metropolitan systems in the state, and the rest of us are getting left behind. So it was a very interesting experience, but we're trying to make some progress in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you both. I know you've been working on this a long time, and it's much appreciated. We will move on to liaison reports. They are in your packet. I'll just briefly go through these. Bellefonte Intervalley Chamber of Commerce. Ms. Brooks, do you have anything else to add to your report, or anything you want to say?
I really don't. If anyone has any additional questions for me.
Thank you. Anyone have questions? Thank
Okay.
you. Bellefonte Borough Authority, June 3rd, 2025, drafted minutes. Mr. Johnson, do you have anything you'd like to add from the authority?
I do not at this time.
Okay. The Center County Library, Ms. Cleaton.
Nothing to add, but the summer reading programs have started, so sign up and get on board.
Thank you. Workplace Safety Committee, Mr. Brackbill.
We had a meeting second Wednesday of the month, and went well. We stayed for a half hour. So, yeah, we finished it up. We had some training. Actually, I'll take that back. We had about a 45-minute meeting with that one on Wednesday. But that all goes pretty well. Alyssa does a good job with that.
Great, thank you. Moving on to current and old business. 2025 CDBG project selection. Could I have a motion and a second to approve Center County on behalf of Bellefonte Borough to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for FFY 2025 Community Development Block Grant Entitlement Funding for the Stamped Crosswalk Project?
Point of order, there's another motion before that. There's two motions in that.
I'm so sorry, I missed that. Let's do the first one. First one, CDBG project selection, a motion and a second to approve the stamped crosswalks at the intersection of High Street and Water Street for the 2025 CDBG project.
So moved.
Thank you. Could I have a second, please?
Second, Brackbill.
First, we'll ask for any public comment from that. Seeing none, any discussion for council? Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier.
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill.
Yes.
Ms. Clayton, yes. Ms. Dan.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. McKean.
Yes.
Ms. Purnell.
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick.
Yes.
And Ms. Tosti Vasey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Could I have a motion and a second to approve Center County on behalf of the Bellefonte Borough to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for FFY 2025 Community Development Block Grant Entitlement Funding for the Stamped Crosswalk Project?
Motion made, Brackbill.
Thank you, Randy. Second, please.
Second, McKee.
Thank you, Shauna. Is there any public comment? Council discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier.
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill.
Yes.
Ms. Clayton, yes. Ms. Dan.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. McKean.
Yes.
Ms. Purnell.
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick.
Yes.
And Ms. Tosti Vasey.
Yes.
Thank you.
The Center County Airport Authority volunteer application. Could we have a motion and a second to approve Carrie Uhler's volunteer application for the Center County Airport Authority?
I will make that motion, Johnson.
Thank you, Doug. Second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ken. Is there any discussion?
More of a curiosity question. The next item talks about the airport authority vetting volunteers. Is that starting after this evening, or was this supposed to be part of that?
Yes, that will start after this appointment, and we had a conversation about that. This is the only applicant, and we want to get that position filled as soon as possible. So that's what we hope to do.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any other questions? Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier.
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill.
Yes.
Ms. Clayton, yes. Ms. Dan.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. McKean.
Yes.
Ms. Purnell.
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick.
Yes.
Ms. Tosti Vasey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Center County Airport Authority memo to appointing entities. Could I have a motion and a second to allow Center County Airport Authority to review all applications and submit a recommendation to council for future appointments?
I'll make that
motion.
Thank you, Kent. Second?
Second, Johnson.
Thank you. Any discussion? Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier.
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill.
Yes.
Ms. Clayton, yes. Ms. Dan.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. McKean.
Yes.
Ms. Purnell.
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick.
Yes.
Ms. Tosti Vasey.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have an update on the suspension bridge project. No council action is needed. Did anyone have questions for Ms. Brooks with that? Did you want to add anything, Julie, to that?
I didn't really have anything to add. I just wanted to see if there were any additional questions overall. It was just an update on the way that the estimates came in. So just so that you're aware, I'm still working with the engineering firm to adjust as much as possible to fit in our budget.
Great, thank you. the Governor's Park batting cage. Could I have a motion and a second to approve the batting cage as proposed?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? I know Mr. Caparel's here if anybody has questions. Seeing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier?
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill?
Yes.
Ms. Clayton? Yes. Ms. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. McKean?
Yes.
Ms. Purnell?
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick?
Yes.
Ms. Tosti-Vasey?
Yes.
Thank you.
The Friends of Talleyrand lease agreement, was in your packet. If you have any feedback, please email. Do you want that emailed to you, Mr. Holderman?
Sure, yeah.
To Mr. Holderman by this Wednesday, June 18th. Under new business, Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs Conference recap and 2025 resolutions adopted by PSAB voting delegates. Deb, did you want to talk about any of the resolutions? They were in the packet.
Yes, in your packet, I included a copy of all of the resolutions adopted by the PSAB voting delegates. And right at top, number 1 is the one that we were supporting, and that is the legislation that provides state annual financial assistance to municipalities for tax-exempt properties. And this legislation would direct the distribution of around $500 million back to Pennsylvania's municipalities to help recoup the lost revenue from tax-exempt properties. So this is a step forward. We did approve 13 of the 14 resolutions that came before the voting delegates, and all of the resolutions that have been reauthorized for an additional 3 years are also included in the packets. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer as best I can.
Okay, thank you, Deb.
Add one more?
Yes.
And I would like to recognize Julie Brooks, who received her Certified Boroughs official award at the luncheon on Tuesday.
Great,
Thank you.
congratulations. The 9th Annual Dylan Krunick Memorial Charity Baseball Tournament request for fee waiver. Could I have a motion and a second to approve the fee waiver for use of Governor's Park Baseball Field for the 9th Annual Dylan Krunick Memorial Charity Baseball Tournament scheduled for August 9th and 10th?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second Brackbill.
Thank you. Discussion, please.
Yes. This is a nonprofit that is located outside the boundaries of Bellefonte. The website that's referred to in the request is for the DEC 8 Fund, which is located in Canandaigua, New York. It is not a Bellefonte-based nonprofit, although the people who started it were from here at one point. We should not be granting a fee waiver for this fundraising event because this would violate the borough's nonprofit properties. In addition, it is not listed as a charity or a nonprofit in Guide Store and is not listed as a nonprofit or charitable organization in the IRS tax organization search engine.
I will once again strongly urge that the fee is waived. The Krunicks continue to be an integral part of our community. Dylan was a strong member of our community before losing his battle with cancer. 100% of the proceeds of this tournament go for childhood cancer research, and it is an event that brings in hundreds, if not thousands, of people from all over to our community to support their effort to honor the memory of their son and raise money for childhood cancer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there anyone else? Mr. Johnson.
I think we've approved this in years past without any problem. And out of respect for the family, I fully support the waiver of this fee.
It's 4 years in a row since I've been on council. It comes up every year, and we approve it unanimously. So,
No.
okay.
Did you have a comment, Joanne? No. Okay. Okay. I do. I think this is a great thing, and I can't imagine what this family went through. I do support everything they're doing, but when we refer to the ordinance, not-for-profits based in Bellefonte Borough may request an exemption from the rental fee. The administrative fee and damage deposit shall still be required. I agree with Joanne, they don't meet that criteria. And we do have a fee schedule, and we do have a baseball field to take care of.
Well, in this letter that they sent, they would ask for if it's possible to waive those so that all funds raised could go directly to the charity. I'm not sure what charity it is, but that's what they're listing.
Right, it is. It's for childhood cancer. Anybody else have a comment on this?
I think I could see questioning this if it was money raised for themselves, but since it's going to charity, I think we should consider that in our decision.
Thank you, Rita. Anybody else? Okay, so the motion on the table is to approve the fee waiver for use of Governor's Park Baseball Field for the 9th Annual Dylan Cronick Memorial Charity Baseball Tournament scheduled for August 9th and 10th. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier,
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill,
Yes.
Ms. Cleaton, yes. Ms. Dan,
No.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. McKean,
Yes.
Ms. Purnell,
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick,
Yes.
Ms. Tosti Vasey.
No.
Thank you. 7-2.
Thank you. The loading of compost memo for August, September, and October 2025. It was in your packet. I will read this. It is brief. It's good for the community to know. Borough personnel using borough equipment to load compost onto trailers or pickups at the Musser Lane Compost Facility between the hours of 8 a.m. and 12 noon on 3 Saturdays in 2025. There will be one Saturday in August, one in September, and one in October. When these dates are confirmed, dates will be posted on the borough website and on social media. There will be a fee to cover equipment and personnel. For this, fee is $20 per cubic yard, which is approximately 1 skid steer loader bucket. Fees will be paid at the borough administrative offices, and a signed waiver is needed at that time stating the borough is not responsible for damage to the vehicles during loading or compost hauling. Could I have a motion and a second to approve this, please?
I'll make that motion, Cleaton.
Thank you, Deb.
Second. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, Shauna. Any discussion?
I have some comments.
Okay.
I suggested this. I didn't know that we agreed on a $20. Maybe we did. I don't remember, but I think that $20 a scoop is probably more than we should charge. I would say a pickup truck load is $20. If it's a scoop and a half, it's still $20. So I used to buy UAJA compost, and it was $15 a yard, I believe, which seemed really reasonable to me. So I would suggest lowering that to $15 a scoop, or $15 a truckload instead of $20. I know we're trying to cover our costs, but let's see how it goes first, and then maybe next year raise it to $20. Just my thought on that.
So are you making that motion, Mr. Johnson? to change?
I will make the motion to amend the fee from $20 to $15 per scoop. I'm not so sure that it's a cubic yard in the skid steer. I think it might be a little more than that, but anyhow, $15 a truckload meaning a half-ton pickup truckload, not a T-tag 5-ton truck. We're talking about a normal size pickup truck with a 5-foot to 8-foot bed.
That's quite a motion.
You get the idea.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam President.
I'll second it, Purnell.
Thank you, Rita. Is there any discussion on that? We can do a friendly, who agrees? Agree that we go with a friendly motion and change that? That's the motion? Change it
Yes.
to $15 for a normal truckload? Is that what you're?
Yes, a pickup truckload or a scoop from the skid steer.
Okay.
Most pickup trucks nowadays may only handle one scoop from a skid steer. So I think the operator at the Musser Lane compost facility will be a pretty good judge of the $15 fee. Let's see how it goes at $15 a scoop.
Okay, so we have to agree on the friendly amendment, correct? And do we do a roll call for that? Just,
The friendly minute makes this the main minute, so you only have one vote instead of two.
okay, so now we can vote on the original motion with that change. Okay, that's what we are voting on then. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier?
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill?
Yes.
Ms. Cleaton? Yes. Ms. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. McKean?
Yes.
Ms. Purnell?
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick?
Yes.
Ms. Tosti Vasey?
Yes.
Thank you.
The Public Transit Services Task Force proposed calculated rates for Bellefonte Borough residents' use of Center County transportation services. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the proposed calculated rates for Bellefonte Borough residents' use of Center County transportation services?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Kent. Second,
I'll
please.
second it, Cleaton.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on that? Council discussion.
Yeah, I have questions on the full fare. How's that set up? How, because all we see is this right now. What's the budget?
I can answer that. What we're proposing is that Bellefonte Borough underwrite the cost of using the county transportation service for any Bellefonte resident. Anybody over the age of 60 rides for free. Anybody with a disability pays $4.25 out of pocket. What we're proposing is that anybody else who falls under the mileage-based fee fare schedule that you see in front of you would pay a maximum of $5 out of pocket, and the borough would pick up the difference.
And where's that money coming from?
We still have, I'm guessing, $16,000 left in the budget for transportation because we have now gone through the first half of the year with CATA. Based on the information we have from Dave Lawson and from CATA and the number of passengers who are currently using the B line who would be transitioning, hopefully, to this new service, there are very few who actually fall into the out-of-pocket category. We need to take this initially a month at a time, see how it goes. We're not going to hit $16,000 next week.
No, I know that,
Yeah.
but what's this sustainability on this? It's on now.
It's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sustainability on this, how long are we gonna last with that?
Well, we need to see how soon we start running through the funds between now and the end of the year and what it looks like towards the end of the year when we get to budget season. We do not anticipate using up that entire $16,000.
And I wonder, if it's based on the mileage, wouldn't some of the $5 fees go up a little bit?
We're starting at a reasonable out-of-pocket cost for the passengers to see how it goes. I understand what you're saying in terms of the gradient fee schedule for mileage, the anticipated average mileage base is going to be in the under 20 miles each way. So it falls in that.
It's from 32 miles
No.
to 49 miles.
I don't have the thing in front of me. We fall within the $20 range, so that the borough is going to be paying an average of $20 per ride.
When we talked to Dave Lomason, he indicated that the people who ride from here in the Bellefonte area would generally fall in one of the first two tiers from their experience from everything else. Those longer distances are usually, well, the longest one is when they take people to Danville. And he says that happens maybe once every 2 or 3 months. But the rest of them, he said, the people that have been using our rides that come from our area are those first two, which at the most, I think the second is $25 for the borough cost.
Yeah, what's the budget look like as far as it being completed? You have to, everybody has a budget that you work from. This is workable, but there could be some issues, just what you're saying. If it's $21.50 for a full chair and $17.50 for Bellefonte Borough, that should be the same number that you have coming down that list. If you're not, I'm not sure how it looks if, when you're going through it. If Lori's working with it, how that's going to look. That's how my question is.
What will happen on July 1st is that Center County Transportation will keep track of every Bellefonte resident that uses this service and how far they've gone and what it costs. And then on a monthly basis, they will be giving a report to Lori of how much it is being cost. Our problem all along is that CATA never could tell us how many people from Bellefonte were actually riding and how far they were going. So we have no real data at this point to say how much it would be cost on a person. So this next 6 months is basically a trial period to find out what kind of service needs there actually are, which is why we don't have an actual number to put with it.
I think that CATA did share some numbers with the County Transportation Office, and the Director of Transportation looked through those riders, and I'm going to ask Mr. Lomason to come up and help me out with this, that it looked as though, based on the data that was supplied by CATA to the Center County Transportation Director, and there's a lot of other criteria, Randy, that would qualify. First of all, people 60 years of age and older, the county comes forward with the money to cover that cost. It's just out of the generosity of the commissioners. They're not required to do that. So the 60 and under of the data that's been supplied to our transportation director at the county, there's a large percentage of those people who have been using the CATA service that qualify for a free ride on the county transportation vans. So based on the data that we see, there's a very small number of folks who need a supplement from Bellefonte Borough. This is only for Bellefonte Borough residents, not county-wide. It's not Spring, it's not Benner, it's Bellefonte residents only. And when those folks call in to the transportation office of the county, they will be interviewed, and it could be that they already qualify for assistance in paying the fee that's unknown to them at this time. So it's worth it, or the county employees are taking time out of their day to make sure that these folks get to ride for almost nothing. What am I missing, Dave?
Not really anything, Doug. Pretty much you covered it. Just real quickly, if you're 60 or older, it's 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything. 60 to 64 is funded 100% by Center County government. 65 and older is 85% paid by lottery. The other 15% is paid by Center County government. If you're disabled, 18 to 60, with a qualifying disability, it's called Persons with Disabilities. It's an ADA service we provide, and you pay a fee anywhere from $4 to $7, depending upon how far. Medical assistance transportation is for medical appointments only, and that's for anybody that has that. And we can tell when we register someone what they qualify for. If they're PWD, we have an application that's not real complicated. It's pretty simple. We can usually approve it within a day or so. Of course, medical assistance, if you give us your documentation we need, we can tell you that instantaneously if you qualify. So it's pretty easy to determine that. What the borough and the task force has asked for is a service for those individuals that fall between up to the age of 60 that have no funding. And how do we help those people? And in the data we've been given, there's 106 clients have been using the Beeline since last July. That's the numbers that I was given. So of that number, 46 of those individuals are registered with us already. So chances are they already have a funding source in my system. And actually, 74 out of the 106 took 10 trips or less in almost a year. So there's a very small number of people that used it a lot, less than a dozen people. But 16 people actually have used it 50 or more trips. But most of those are, right around 50, 60 trips in a year. So we're just willing to continue to do the services that we already do throughout Center County, including Bellefonte, and offer the opportunity for the Bellefonte Borough to give their residents some support that are losing that come the end of the month, at least as a stopgap measure to see if we can help them and see where it goes. As I've said repeatedly, we don't know what we don't know. We'll see once, if it's approved, what happens, and if we get bombarded, then we all have to come back here and sit down and talk about it and figure out what to do. But the state's aware of what we're offering to do. They're supportive, obviously, for those individuals that are funded, and I think I truly don't see us using up all the funds that you've set aside for transit in that short a time, based on all the data we've been given and all the research we've done with that data. I think we're going to be okay for the time being, but that remains to be seen, of course. No guarantee.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would like, Mr. Lomison, to thank you and your staff at the Transportation Office for organizing that data and presenting it to the Transportation Task Force. I know it's taken time out of their day and your day to try to make this possible for the Bellefonte residents. So I appreciate that very much.
Well, we do serve 655 residents of Bellefonte currently in our system. So, it's nice to know that there is a large contingent of Bellefonte people that use our service, and that's in our service that are funded. So, hopefully the people that use the service and need the service are funded, and if not, we'll look for funding for them and potentially have it. Yeah. So.
Thank you, Mr. Lomison.
You're very welcome.
much.
Dave, Yes,
so
Randy. Is it your group that are watching what's going on with this?
Pardon?
Is this the group, your people you work with, are you guys working with that, or who's watching where the money's going and all that stuff?
Well, we'll determine that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay.
we'll know daily how much use there is. I can give a monthly report. We'll send a bill every month is what we'll do. We'll send a borough bill, and, if we see it climbing up there, then we figure out what's going on. But We do have some limitations. It's primarily for work and medical that we're taking on non-funded residents for, and maybe once a week to go shopping for groceries and needs like that. But it's not that you can just decide to go every day just to go. There has to be a purpose, and I think that's what the borough's determination was, that we stick to that purpose for the needs of the people. It's not just, you know, and I'm sure some of these trips are just trips, but the nice thing about our service is we're not going to take them where they have to catch 3 other rides to get to where they're going. We're going to pick them up, take them to where they're going, drop them off, and bring them back. So it's more of a door-to-door type service for them. So, and most of the places that we frequent are within the first 3 categories of our funding, you know, that they're going to use here in Center County. If somebody has to go a long distance, obviously they have to prove why. And it's like anything else. When I take people to the doctor under medical assistance and they want to go out of county, they have to provide documentation why, because they're supposed to be seen at the closest facility. So if they have to go to a specialist, they have to give us a letter for that. That's a requirement that medical assistance has. So, and we'll hold true to that with the same here. You know, we won't just take someone just to take them.
I look at this as the most affordable option we have at this time. And until we try it and see how it works, I think this is a good program to start with.
We feel confident we can meet their needs and keep it within hopefully a reasonable amount of money for you folks. Yeah. Anything else? Right.
Nope. Thank you very
President.
much.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion on this? Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier?
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill?
Yes.
Ms. Cleaton? Yes. Ms. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. McKean?
Yes.
Ms. Purnell?
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick?
Yes.
Ms. Tosti-Vasey?
Yes, and thank you.
Yes, and for me personally, thank you very much.
Thank you for all your hard work on this. Could I have approval of resolution number 06162025-01, adopting the police department's updated policies? These were in your packet. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution 06162025-01?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier?
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill?
Yes.
Ms. Cleaton? Yes. Ms. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. McKean?
Yes.
Ms. Purnell?
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick?
Yes.
Ms. Tosti-Vasey?
Yes,
Thank you.
The Civil Service Commission promotions for Sergeant and Corporal. Police Chief Whitmer is recommending the selection of Officer Macy Neidig for Sergeant and Officer Robert Holt for Corporal. Chief Whitmer is recommending the selection of Officer Lisa Larkin for Detective. Could I have a motion and a second?
So moved, Brackbill.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Is there any discussion? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bernier?
Yes.
Mr. Brackbill?
Yes.
Ms. Cleaton? Yes. Ms. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. McKean?
Yes.
Ms. Purnell?
Yes.
Ms. Sedgwick?
Yes.
Ms. Tosti-Vasey?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Whitmer.
Mr. Mayor, do you want to join me? Officer Neidig, Officer Holt, Officer Larkin, can you sit up here for me, please? Just have a seat in the front row. I'll call you in. Okay. Good evening, council members. I'm pleased to be before you tonight to present to you 3 of our officers who are being promoted to the position of Sergeant, Corporal, and Detective. As Chief, I'm pleased with the commitment of these officers made not only to further their careers in law enforcement, but to also take on the responsibilities of being a supervisor and making the Bellefonte Police Department the best law enforcement agency we can be. The sergeant and corporal positions required 3 steps to complete the process to be promoted. The first step was taking a 3-hour-long written test. The second step was to go through an oral interview. And the third step was to complete a 10 to 15-minute presentation. This was the officer's time, effort, and commitment to pass each phase of the process, all for the betterment of our police department. The third position being promoted tonight is the detective position. The detective position is an important position that is necessary in every police department to ensure crimes are being investigated to the fullest. The Bellefonte Police Department has not always had a detective. The position was started in the late 90s with Detective Thal. The position was quickly recognized as being a necessary position within the police department. Tonight, we will recognize and promote the 5th detective in the Bellefonte Police Department history. I'd like to ask Officer Knight to come up, stand right beside Mayor Johnson. The sergeant position. Officer Macy Knight was hired at the Bellefonte Police Department in 2018 as a part-time officer. 2020, she became a full-time officer. When Officer Knight was hired, she became the first female police officer Bellefonte Police Department has ever had. Prior to her law enforcement career, Officer Knight earned her bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Lock Haven University. Her law enforcement career started at the Center County Sheriff's Department. A few months later, on the job, after a few months on the job, it was apparent Officer Knight was hardworking, determined, focused, and always wanted to put her best foot forward. Officer Knight was ambitious and wanted to further her career in law enforcement. And over the last few years, Officer Knight has attended several important trainings. To mention a few: Desert Snow, Field Training Officer, Traffic Control Drug Interdiction, and A-Ride. That's just a few. In 2023, Officer Knight became a recipient of the Center County Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. She won this award because of her attention to detail, her hard work, and dedication to good police work. Officer Knight was also the first and only member of the Bellefonte Police Department to date to win Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. In 2024, Officer Knight became a field training officer and has revamped our FTO program to what it is today. She has also become a member of the Center County Badge-to-Badge Peer Support Group. Since Officer Knight has been with the department, she has demonstrated time after time good work ethic, the ability to adjust and deal with any situation, her strong bond with the community, her dedication to police work, and her ability to make good decisions. These are all qualities our department and our community need in a leadership role. Officer Knight. Corporal position, Robert Holt. Officer Robert Holt has been with the police department since 2001. Officer Holt's career has spanned over 30 years. He graduated from the police academy in 1994 and begun his career in Clearfield County prior to being hired by the Bellefonte Police Department. Over the span of his career, he has attended several notable trainings. Just to mention a few: leadership in the 21st century, weights and measures, missing and abducted children training, intelligence-assisted policing, assessing and planning for active assaults. That's just a few to mention. Over the past 2 decades, Officer Holt has received several commendations for his notable acts for his service to the community. Officer Holt has seen several changes in law enforcement over his career and has adapted to each one of those. He has been able to adjust and deal with any situation that comes his way. I refer to him as my field general, as his knowledge and experience is second to none in critical incidents. Officer Holt has also displayed a strong bond with the community, and over the past 2 decades, he has become the officer of choice the public knows and wants to speak with because of his dedication, his fairness, his compassion, and his voice of reason. Officer Holt holds all the leadership qualities this department needs to be the best law enforcement agency we can be. The third position, Detective Officer Larkin. Can you come up and join us, please? Officer Larkin began her career in the state of Oregon at the University of Oregon Police Department. While there, she rose to the rank of sergeant. She then briefly stepped out of law enforcement and was employed by Child Protective Services as a child abuse and neglect investigator. She then entered back into the law enforcement career, where she was then employed by Corvallis Police Department in Oregon. In 2022, Officer Larkin and her family traveled across the country to relocate in Center County. She began her law enforcement career in Pennsylvania at the Penn State University of Police Department, where she gained vast knowledge of Pennsylvania law and criminal procedures. Prior to her law enforcement career, Officer Larkin received a Bachelor's of Arts degree in history. She furthered her education and received a Master's of Science in clinical mental health counseling. In 2024, Officer Larkin was hired full-time with the Bellefonte Police Department. It was apparent when Officer Larkin began her career with the department, she brought knowledge, experience, and dedication with her. Officer Larkin's hard work, attention to detail, and her ability to handle difficult situations didn't go unnoticed by her colleagues. Last month, Officer Larkin was notified that she is a finalist for the Law Enforcement Officer of the Year, which will be selected next month. Not only was Officer Larkin's hard work and dedication noticed by me, but by others as well. The detective position is near and dear to me, as I've been the previous detective for the last 8 years. I am confident in Officer Larkin's ability to maintain a high quality of professionalism, a high quality of work output, and the dedication to the position of the detective position demands, and demands to provide to the best service the Bellefonte community deserves. I'm going to ask Mayor Johnson and Judge Walker to come up and give them their oaths.
Thank you, sir.
Would you each please raise your right hand and respond with "I will"? I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the laws and ordinances of the Borough of Bellefonte, and obey all the laws and regulations pertaining to and governing the Borough of Bellefonte, and that I will well and faithfully discharge and perform all the duties of my office accordingly and to the best of my knowledge and ability.
I will.
Detective Larkin, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that you will perform the duties of detective for Bellefonte Borough Police with fidelity?
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Corporal Holt, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that you will perform the duties of corporal for Bellefonte Borough Police with fidelity?
I do.
Congratulations, Corporal.
Thank you.
Sergeant Knighton, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that you will perform the duties of sergeant for Bellefonte Borough Police with fidelity?
I do.
Congratulations, Sergeant.
Thank you, Judge.
Now I'd like to call up the officer's choice of loved one who wants to pin their new badge on their shirt. You can come forward. We can do colors afterwards. Yeah, we'll do colors. They take a little longer. All right, everybody have their new badge? Thank you. All right. Council members, I present to you Sergeant Neidick, Corporal Holt, Detective Larkin. We'll get pictures afterwards. Thank you.
Do we have public comment regarding issues that are not on the agenda tonight? Seeing none, we will ask council members for comments or for the good of the order. Mr. Bernier, would you like to start tonight, please?
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have nothing but to say congratulations to the 3 officers' promotions tonight.
Oh, nothing to add tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
Nothing tonight.
Same.
What happened to happy to be here?
I am very happy to be here.
Thank you. Congratulations. This is very exciting for our police department.
I'd like to thank council for approving the proposal to work with the county for transportation. And I just want let the public know that I've been using their service for over a year now, and I would be more than happy to share my personal experience with using that system and how well it works. You will get to your destination on time. My email is on the website. It's dcleeton@bellefontepa.gov. If you have questions about the service itself, you need to call the County Transportation Office at 814-355-6807, and their staff will walk you through the registration process. It's very easy. All it takes is a phone call. Thank you.
I have nothing, thank you.
I gave the same thanks to council and to the public for taking a chance on this new transit system. I think it will work well. It is an experiment. We will be going forward to attempt to do a long-term transit development plan. But that's going to take a while. Meanwhile, we have what we believe to be an excellent service. And finally, congratulations to our 3 new leadership officers.
I have no comment.
I had something come across my school email, and we may have talked about this when it actually happened, but and if we did, it's worth mentioning again. Christian Larson, who was our former council member, student council member, well, whatever the title is, junior council member, I'll get it right, was selected as the Elks Teen of the Month for April. And I don't remember if that was mentioned here before or not, but I thought it was worth mentioning. And also, I haven't done this in a really long time, but I'm giving a shout out to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, Rodney and Carrie. I know they're probably watching.
Thanks, Rita. Could I have a motion and a second for adjournment, please?
So moved, Brackville.
Thank you, Rita.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.